be honest, BC Steel, I still have no idea what that means. Obviously, we've seen a steel structure erected here at ringside. A pink fencing, a pink cage of some sort. And oh, here's Calvin. Calvin Couture is the fashionista of pro wrestling, and when Andrew Palace said, "I'll meet you in any match stipulation, any match type you want," Calvin Couture invented the fashionista street fight, and it looks like we've got some extra accessories as a part of this. Is that a pillow?
Well, Joe, I agree with the point that you were just going to make there.
Those pillows can do damage in England.
Well, I've heard. Calvin Couture is an innovator, is what you're saying, and I completely agree with you.
Is that what I said?
Yes, and he's got his finest, well, I don't know if it's finest decorators, but he has 2 decorators.
They dress up for the occasion.
Joe, you don't take the attention away from the star.
What is that? Is this all part of the street fight? There's flowers?
Well, I pride myself on being a talented journalist that knows the ins and outs of professional wrestling.
What is he going to do, sell his gear? What is he doing?
Well, I mean, that's the thing that people do now. Do you know how much people pay for used gear?
I am aware of that.
I know a guy.
I'm sure you do. I know Calvin, that's enough. What is this, is this Calvin's art exhibit now? What is he's showing? He pinned Palace, yes.
Yes.
It took like 4 people to help him, but he pinned Palace last year, and he's made a career out of it. He's claimed that he's walked the finest runways. He's toured the world. He had a song commissioned about it. He pinned Palace.
He did. Flowers just added a nice touch to it, don't you think?
Can you imagine the fanfare and pageantry of Calvin pins Palace again here tonight?
Oh, we're going to get a whole album.
Oh, God.
Maybe I can sing background vocals.
Isn't that a handbag?
Joe, I'm going to be honest. I don't really know what to expect. And
you think?
With Andrew Palace and Calvin Couture, this could go a number of ways.
Well, Palace hoping it goes his way. Andrew Palace, with weapons in hand, is ready to finally get his hands on Calvin Couture. No disqualifications, no count out to this matchup. Calvin got intentionally disqualified to get out of their matchup a couple of months ago, but there's no saving Calvin tonight. And Palace is still gathering weapons.
Well, Palace is going to take anything that isn't nailed down, apparently.
Well, what is this? Calvin had some kind of piece of paper. Calvin belligerent towards Lendl. What?
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been handed the official rules of the Fashionista street fight. I'm reading it right now, pals. I don't know. I'm reading it right now. In the Fashionista street fight, you are only able to use objects that are pink, gold, glittery, or fashionable.
What?
Well, that seems reasonable.
Pink?
That's a trash can,
Pink, gold, glittery, or fashionable?
It's right there.
It's a fashionista, and Palace is not allowed to use any of his weapons because they don't fit the fashionista criteria. Come on.
Well, Palace didn't make the rules now, did he?
No, he didn't.
Well, then he has to abide by the rules that are set forth.
But it's a street fight. Inherently, a street fight has no rules.
Well, this is a fashionista street fight.
And Calvin taking it to Palace in the early going.
Luckily for Calvin, he is very fashionable and glittery sometimes.
Oh, so he can use himself as a weapon.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's how it works. Palace fighting back. And Palace went from having a decisive mental advantage here to being an athlete with his back to a corner here, because all of his weapons are pretty much useless.
Well, I guess he should have thought about then, shouldn't he?
He'll get disqualified if he uses them, and then he'll never pin Calvin.
That could be a follow-up song.
Oh, God. Well, Calvin maybe didn't count on the wrath of Andrew Palace and his bare fists. Ouch.
Now, is Palace really able to use his hands? They're not really fashionable.
Hands do not constitute as weapons, and I don't think using the concession stand is against Palace, because we are not in the ring. I don't think the match has officially started. The wall does not count because the match has not officially started. Oh, I don't think that pizza would have counted. And Calvin, I think that's too many carbs for Calvin.
Well, those people are certainly not fashionable.
And hey, be nice. Calvin's got an aggressive streak, too. Let's not forget about that.
Well, if I would have said what I wanted to, I wouldn't have been so nice.
Well, I think it will behoove Calvin to get back into the ring with his setup, his motif, if you will.
Now, wait a minute.
Well, this may be a bit over the line. Yeah, Palace looking to use the chair as a blatant offensive weapon rather than just use the surroundings. And Calvin! What was that? Those beads? And Calvin choking Palace with some kind of beads. I guess that's fashionable?
Well, you don't know fashion. Calvin does.
So Calvin can just make up the rules as he goes.
Well, no, you don't make up fashion. Fashion exists in and of itself.
Doesn't fashion change pretty quickly? Oh, Palace into
And it was pink.
the solid pink cage. Yeah, the cage is legal. Anything pink is legal in this match, ladies and gentlemen. You're keeping score at home, and Palace having the life choked out of them here.
Well, you know, it's like Stephen Perry said, or Tyler Perry, or Steven Tyler. One of them said,
Who?
pink is my favorite color.
And a swing and a miss with the hockey stick. I don't know if that was pink or not, but Palace is fighting for his life here. And high angle back suplex, Calvin dropping the back of his head.
You know, Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky, quite fashionable back in their day.
Sure. Why not? Maybe not in the same way Calvin likes to think of fashion, but... And what is... Palace doesn't know what to do here. Oh, God. Some kind of a tray.
That's fashionable.
Is that fashionable?
Well, that might be Miss Hana's tray, so...
Oh, please. And Palace using it on Calvin. Hockey stick.
Now, that's not for him to use. Joe, no.
If it's fair game in this match, oh, God.
Well, he hit him in the fashion.
And the stick right to the glutes. I believe that the hockey stick has been bedazzled or glittered up somewhat to make that legal in this matchup.
Now, that was an unfair spanking.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Is there a fair version out there?
Well, yeah, but
How do you fairly spank someone in a fashionista street?
Well, it starts with $60. Well, never mind.
There's suplex. Calvin got dropped hard. And Palace has no idea what to go for here. He's got flowers.
And he's got that thing.
That's some kind of atomizer or something. Calvin's got a pillow. What in the world? What happened to my life? Oh, God! Calvin just laid out Palace with a pillow. I didn't know he packed that kind of swing.
Well, no, Calvin is a very strong... Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, come on.
Calvin is a very smart man.
I guess the pillow made it fashionable.
Oh, I mean, not wrong. More beads. I feel like we're at Mardi Gras.
Do you know?
It's a good place to get that fair spanking we were talking about earlier.
Calvin called him Ange? And Palace reaching for the fashionable serving tray that just hit Calvin right on the top of the head.
You know, Calvin spared no expense on the street fight, I'll have you know.
It's all that runway money he's made.
You know, imagine where we could go with this. We could have a fashionista dog collar match.
I'd love to tell Calvin where to go, who's raking that atomizer across the head of Palace.
How about a fashionista Bill Watts match? Bill Watts rules match.
What are you talking about? Get out of here. We've innovated a lot here in Premier, haven't we?
A fashionista I Quit match. Fashionista First Blood.
I would lose a fashionista I Quit match right now. Palace is hammering away. And Calvin caught in a slam. This is what Calvin brings to Premier, the fashionista street fight.
Fashionista dog kennel match.
And there goes the gear.
Ooh, a fashionista painting on a pole match.
Price is going to go down, for crying out loud. Get rid of the flowers, get rid of the clothing.
That's a very expensive dress.
I'm sure it is.
That's a Louis Vuitton.
Who?
Yeah.
Palace gets tripped up.
You're going to take my creations down, huh?
Calvin upset that Andrew redecorated without permission.
Well, I believe that's a sub-rule in the fashionista street fight. Look, now Calvin doesn't know what to do. Oh, well, there you go.
Into the mouth of Palace. Calvin's got a sadistic side.
Well, don't let the glitz and glamour and sparkly colors fool you. There is a bit of aggression from that young man.
Oh, without a doubt there is. I mean, if there was, Calvin wouldn't be here in Premier.
How do you think that Calvin Couture pinned Andrew Palace?
Is that a pink baseball bat?
That counts.
Oh, goodness.
Calvin Couture, I believe, played for the AAA minor league affiliate to the San Diego Padres.
Oh, he did not. Calvin's got a woman's high-heeled shoe, for goodness sakes. Right to the eye. Calvin's trying to take out Palace's eye.
Oh, he's got two of them.
What did Palace do to deserve this? Good grief.
Excellent use of the shoe. No, why don't I just call shoe?
Why would you do that? Bottom drops out. And Calvin using the shoe he's wearing that time.
It's over.
Fashionista street fight's done. No, Palace kicks out. Calvin almost pinned Palace again. There you see that aggressive streak in Calvin.
This is your hero?
Calvin doesn't understand why these people still support Palace after he pinned him.
Well, it's because these people don't know anything about fashion and class, first of all.
He's throwing just shoes and garnish and flowers and everything at Palace. You don't see Flowers use this aggressively since Savage and Steel at Mania 2. Look out! Calvin has got a pink kendo stick. A pink kendo stick to the back. And that stiff bamboo is just wearing out Palace.
It doesn't matter the color of the stick, it's the makeup of it. Uh-oh.
Palace has the kendo stick. And Calvin getting lit up. Good grief. Andrew Palace giving Calvin a taste of his own medicine. And now into the side of the cage, right into the steel bars that connect that cage. Calvin out on his feet, German suplex on the Flowers.
Not on the Flowers.
Oh, he landed back of the head first on the pedals. Now Palace with those beads, those Mardi Gras beads.
Well, I'm sure there's a metal component somewhere in there, and
Oh, he wrapping it around his fist. And Palace going to give Calvin a taste of the fashionable right upside the face.
somebody get Calvin something.
A clue?
Well, no, I wasn't going for that.
Oh.
He needs a pillow to take a little rest.
What is this? Al says some kind of a bag. I think Calvin got that from Ashton's bag earlier, and Calvin went downstairs with a baseball bat.
You think you can use these? No, these are mine, baby.
Well, We know it normally is in a tiny bag in a pro wrestling environment, especially in a street fight.
Well, they are sparkly.
And that's got... Wait a minute. Those are gemstones. Those aren't thumbtacks, they're gemstones.
Well, Joe, it's a fashionista street fight. Were you not paying attention?
Yes! Well, Calvin tried to send Palace into the gemstones. And now, Palace going for a pile driver. Second time, Calvin counters. And you see Calvin getting desperate here, biting the top of the head.
Well, fashion is about creating a work of art, if you will, and that's exactly what Calvin was trying to do. And I think if Calvin escapes the cage, it's over.
Calvin went for the furry handcuffs, but Palace was able to counter.
Can I go get those?
Get away from there. No.
That's not fair. Oh, you couldn't see.
The shirt, I think Calvin may not want to see what comes next.
This is not a fashionista blindfold match. You're welcome for that, by the way. Feel free to use that.
Oh, yeah. Put it in the suggestion box. Calvin trying to free himself from harm's way. Calvin trying to get out of the way of Palace's right hands. Not happening. Palace gets dropped. And Calvin, the double sledge right to the head. Palace is teetering. Those gemstones are still there, BC. And Palace fighting his way out. Palace is still thinking, you got to believe superplex. Whoa!
Well,
Palace has certainly had his ire raised by Calvin's obnoxious nature for several months. And Calvin's trying to fight it, but Palace overpowers Calvin, and they both landed the gemstone.
I don't think if you realize exactly what that feels like piercing your skin, as we see right there.
Well, you land on anything that's going to just embed your skin, it's not going to feel good.
For anybody who's ever stepped on a Lego, imagine a bunch of that feeling all through your back.
Yeah, and about from 10 feet in the air.
Joe, let me go slam you so you can get a better understanding.
I think right now we got to worry about the street fight. Calvin's throwing things. Wait a minute. Palace just opened up that handbag, and he found something in a can. I don't know what the hell it was. Wait a minute.
Now, he can't use the chair.
He can't use the chair, that's true. It's not gold, it's not fashionable, but wait a minute.
Hey, now that's not fair.
It's pink. That's pink hairspray. Palace is pink. The chair is pink. We're pretty in pink. And Calvin just got leveled. Pink chair upside the skull. It's legal. Oh my gosh. Let's make that chair fashionable while we're at it.
Well, I guess.
Andrew Palace killed Calvin Couture.
Well, nobody wants to hear that.
Now there's a t-shirt slogan, and there's a pile driver. Right on top of the head first on a chair. Andrew Palace wins the fashionista street fight.
Now,
celebrate with a snack as well.
I think there's something in the rules. If you eat the flowers after the match, you're disqualified. I think Calvin Couture actually won this matchup, and when he wakes up, he can clarify.
Calvin brought his own brand of flair and fashion to premiere, but it wound up blowing up in his face because Andrew Palace has survived Calvin's creation. And no more will we have to hear Calvin Couture pinned Andrew Palace. Andrew Palace just got that pin back.
Well, Joe, this is a sad, sad day. I mean, we had beautiful flowers and clothing and pink kendo sticks.
Wait a minute. That's Jack Pollock.
Joe, we haven't seen him in a long, long time.
Jack Pollock is here in Premier. We haven't seen Pollock in over a year. Last time we saw Pollock, since having reconstructive knee surgery. Pollock out of the crowd and is now beating the hell out of Andrew Palace.
And Joe, I would say that Jack Pollock is looking pretty damn good right about now.
Pollock has been gone for so long, but why here? Why now? Why Palace?
Why not?
Oh, God! That Mafia kick! Palace never saw it coming. Palace got jacked in the corner. Jack Pollock is back in Premier and has apparently made a statement. And maybe making a literal statement. Pollock, let's let Pollock explain his actions. We didn't get anything out of Pollock there. Pollock is verbally silent, but physically deadly. Jack Pollock has made his return, and he's targeted Andrew Palace, but why?